election night. We have to go.
No.
Carl, it's election night. Where did you go? We have to go.
And I told you, no.
Carl, it's election night. We need to go.
For the third time, no.
Carl, I'm telling you for the last time, it's election night. We have to go to the office.
And I'm telling you for the last time, no.
Carl, where have you been? It's election night. We have to go. We need to get into the newsroom. We have to get set up.
Well, greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Newsman Weekly podcast.
Democracy After Dark, Carl.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Democracy After Dark. As you can see, I was dragged in literally by the ear just a few minutes ago by my co-host, Mariah Thomas. My name is Carl Hunnell. I'm the city editor at Richland Source, and I'm very happy to be here.
I'm also very happy to be here. Mariah Thomas, like Carl said, and I'm Ashland Source's Report for America Corps member.
So there you have it. Why are we here? It's election night, and Ohioans, folks listening around, watching on Facebook and YouTube, relax, take a breath, calm down. The polls have closed in Ohio. You've done all you can. The rest is just up to the madness that is the national political landscape.
Absolute chaos.
And Mariah, I appreciate you encouraging me to be here tonight. I also thank you for agreeing to be the co-host. I'm not sure why you agreed, but reluctantly you did.
Carl, anything that you ask me to do, I'm going to say yes to.
Yeah, she says that now, but the truth of the matter is she's had me doing goofy TikToks for I don't know how long. So.
It's true. He's my work bestie, so it's part of the deal. It's part of what he signed up for.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm gonna pivot us. Here's what you can expect.
Oh, it's a pivot.
From us
It's an
tonight.
early evening pivot, please.
Here's what you can expect from us tonight.
I saw that in Seinfeld. Pivot. Pivot. You remember that? Oh, you're too young. Go ahead. Oh, Friends. Sorry, Seinfeld. See, I'm already mixed
I've seen
up.
Friends.
Oh, by the way, folks, in case you're wondering, this is not something we do for a living. We're not CNN. We're not Fox News. We're not broadcast professionals. Hold on a second. No, I really don't have an earpiece, so no one's telling me anything. So we have pivoted, and
We've
Friends,
pivoted.
thank you for that, Grace. Go ahead.
Yes. I just wanted to make sure that we know a little bit about what to be expecting here tonight. First things first, little housekeeping. We're going to be doing some giveaways tonight.
Giveaways, big time.
Big time giveaways. We've got 4 $50 Visa gift cards. I was hoping I was holding that the right way. And,
Well, I
and
handed
I
it
was.
to you. I tried to make sure you were, but please continue.
I was. We've got 4 of these $50 Visa gift cards that we're going to be handing out during this live stream tonight, which goes from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And we just wanted to make sure you all know how it works first and foremost. We will announce the giveaway challenge, and they all require you to comment on this live stream. So we'll be throwing up a graphic. You can only win once, but you have 4 chances to win. And here's giveaway number 1. Comment with the first year you ever voted in an election. Just comment with the year. We'll pick a random winner.
The
Carl?
fact of the matter is, I think I voted in my first election before you were born.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you remember voting in your first election?
Yes, I do.
Expand on that,
Oh, thank you
please.
for that. The first presidential election I voted in was 1980, which
Okay.
was also I was a student at Ohio University, and I helped cover the presidential election that year for the Cambridge Daily Jeffersonian.
Okay.
And that was Ronald Reagan versus Jimmy Carter versus an independent named John Anderson.
Okay.
And I remember writing a political science paper at the time in which I boldly predicted and argued that John Anderson would be the winner.
Oh, that is really bold.
The
Going
political-
with the independent.
Yes, the professor gave me an A for the paper. He said, boldly argued, hopelessly wrong,
And
which has kind of been the status of my career most of my life.
I was gonna say he was correct if I know what those Reagan electoral maps look
Yes,
like. Huh?
Reagan won big in 1980 and also in 1984.
Yeah.
So that is why we're going to talk about elections,
Absolutely.
but we're not going to do it the way. If you really were that like hammered, wanting to know, you wouldn't be watching us right now. You'd just be getting hammered with us. So, and we'll talk about that later. We got some guests coming on.
We do. I'm really excited about it. We've got some good ones. We've got some civics educators who are here and in the studio today.
Yay,
the
civics.
newsroom. Yeah, yay, civics is
We have
absolutely.
we have Ashland University history professor John Mosier is going to be with us. John, as many of you know, is a big fan of everything we do here, and we're a big fan of everything John does. And one of the things we're going to do tonight is I did ask John weeks ago. I said, I got to have you on the show, but John is also a great mixologist. So I said, you have to come up with a presidential cocktail.
Okay.
So in a little bit, I'm going to be joining John back in the kitchen, and we're going to make that presidential cocktail. And if all goes well, we're going to be drinking that presidential cocktail.
I hope I get one.
Oh, you might. We'll see how it goes for you. Hopefully, you lasted 2 hours.
I would love nothing more than to last the full 2 hours.
I know you've got big fans in Montana, at least those who share your name.
I know. Shout out to the Montanans for tuning into the Ohio election live stream.
Jim, I'm very proud to be here with your daughter. She's doing quite well. We'll see if she makes the 2 hours. So,
Thank you. Thank you. So,
Right.
Carl,
yes,
tell me a
Mariah.
little bit. Okay, so you talked about your first presidential election
Yes.
as a journalist.
Mhm.
Is there an end in sight for you?
There is an end in sight for me. If all goes as planned, and my 401k doesn't become a 101k after this election, I fully intend that this will be my final presidential election. I'm 63 years old. The next one will come when I'm 67, and I intend to be sitting, no booing. I intend to be sitting on my porch.
We love you, Carl.
You know, you can love me at my house, sitting on my back porch, drinking mint juleps.
Okay.
As I watch you guys do this kind of stuff on election night.
Mint julep.
Mint juleps. Wait, that's the wrong thing. That's the horse race. Kentucky Derby.
What?
You don't know anything about horse racing.
I don't
Hey,
know
let's talk
anything
about things we are covering tonight.
Okay, let's do it.
All right,
Tell me about Richland County.
Mansfield City Schools has a huge tax issue on the ballot tonight.
Okay.
It's an earned income and property tax issue. We're covering some state Senate and state House races. Mark
Absolutely.
Romanchuk, Kathy Salem for state Senate. State House is Marilyn John, Emily Adams, and Tim Grady. County Commissioner in Richland County, Darrell Banks and Aaron Williams. And Clerk of Courts, Denise Rule versus Chris Adams. We're following those, and we'll give you updates as we get them if somebody shouts them out or wanders onto the set to share them.
Absolutely. And
What
then
are you doing tonight?
I was going to say, I've also got some races that we're going to be looking at in Ashland County. We didn't have any, contested state representative races or anything like that this year. But we do have a big bond issue that I've been following for Loudonville, Perrysville
A
local
bond
schools.
issue.
Bond and levy issue for Loudonville, Perrysville schools. Yep. And they're trying to build a new building out there. So I'll be following that this evening. And then Ashland County Health District has a renewal tax levy on the ballot. And I also caught up with our Knox County Report for America Corps member, Grant Ritchie, and he told me that they've got some races they're following out there too. So they've got a big county commissioner race out there, a referendum on a Vernon View Drive rezoning, and a
The
referendum.
Vernon View Drive rezoning.
Absolutely.
That'll draw literally tens of voters.
And they also have another referendum.
Oh, another
for
referendum.
The
I
Edgewood
love a good referendum.
for the Edgewood Road Improvement Project.
Ooh. Okay. Well, if you're voting on those two referendums in Knox County tonight and you haven't cast your ballot, you're too late.
That's so true. Polls
have
did
closed. Polls closed at 7:30, so you're all done with that.
Unless you were already in line.
Unless you were in line, and then you could. We don't know. I mean, I said polls have closed and voting's over, but there could be long lines right now.
There could be.
What
we're
did
not
you
psychic.
hear about voting in Ashland County today? How did that go?
They were saying that it was a pretty smooth process. I stopped by Moselle Hall on my way in here this afternoon, and they didn't really have a line or anything. They were helping some folks do curbside voting, that kind of a situation. So, nothing too crazy to report out of Ashland. So,
Well,
yeah.
I got up early this morning and I was texting with Matt Fingeld, the Richland County Board of Elections Director. If I was looking at it, I think I sent in my first text to him at 6:06 a.m. today.
Wow, that was before I woke up.
Yeah, well, I do probably. You probably get up later than I do.
I woke up at 6:45 this morning.
Right. But I talked to Matt. Everything was going good. Maybe an hour or so ago, he texted me to say that like 27,000 in-person votes
Okay.
had been cast in Richland County today.
That's
You
pretty
add that to
good.
the 30,000 who voted early. That means 57 out of 80,000. And that was an hour or two ago. So
Yeah.
Matt was predicting anywhere from 70 to 75% voter turnout in Richland County, which would be good.
Yeah, that'd
People-
be really good.
Because the only thing I wanted, the only thing I want every election is for people to vote.
I've heard you say that many a time, Carl.
Yep. And I yell it at you guys all the time.
You do yell at us all the time.
Make sure you vote.
Absolutely.
Vote early, vote often, but vote. Oh, wait, that's Cook County, Illinois. That's not here, is it? All
I
right.
would hope not.
All right, folks, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to be back in the kitchen
Yep.
here at Richland Source, and John Mosier and I are going to make that presidential cocktail, and John will explain where he got all of his ideas for mixology and something called cocktails in quarantine and then out of quarantine, which goes back to the pandemic. You were probably 12 then, weren't you?
Actually, I was 20 and I was in college. So, believe it or not.
Okay. Well, we're
Believe
not
it or
going to
not.
talk about where you went to college because you'll start singing that infernal theme song, and we're not going to sing the song where the pig squeals.
And on the squeal of the pig floats on the air from
Yeah,
the
we're
tummy
not-
of
we're-
the grizzly
we're not
bear.
doing that,
No,
so
none
no,
of that.
no,
No
no.
Montana references in this one.
None of that.
Oh,
We're going to take a break, folks. And when we come back, I'll be with John Mosier back in the kitchen, and we're going to make our presidential cocktail. So please stay
Stick
with us.
around.
Lots of show to go.
absolutely.
Well, good evening. As I promised, I am back in the Richland Source Kitchen with my friend Dr. John Mosier, the history professor, but the chair of history and political science.
Yes.
At the Ashland University. Thank you very much for being with us, John.
I'm delighted as always.
And when I talked to John a few weeks ago, I said, we're doing this live thing. I want to have you on. I want to talk presidential politics and analysis and history and have you put things into perspective. But just as equally, we got to get some alcohol tonight. So I told John, I said, I need a presidential cocktail. And he has agreed to produce that for us. So one of the things that I loved about John over the years is during the COVID-19 pandemic, you started something called Cocktails in Quarantine.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that, where that idea came from, and how you progressed.
It was the classic example of a COVID hobby. I had just started getting into making craft cocktails, and I thought, well, I'm going to make a YouTube video about how to make it old-fashioned, and people seem to like it, and I like doing it. So the first couple episodes were called Cocktails in Quarantine, and then quarantine ended, so I changed it to Cocktails Out of Quarantine. Now they're about a little over 120 episodes. It's been a long time since I've done one. I need to get back into it.
Well, I encourage everyone, if you look up John on YouTube, you can find those, and there's some wonderful drinks that he shows you how to make. They're all very, very well done. And tonight, John, what do you have for us for a presidential cocktail?
Well, election night, what better night for drinking is there? At the end of the night, one side is going to need drinks more than the other. Who knows what that's going to be? So in the spirit of bipartisanship, I have designed something I like to call the Trumpamala.
Trumpamala.
The Trumpamala. And it combines coconut and orange juice and some other stuff. And I'm going to show you how to make that.
Excellent.
So we've got a shaker. We're going to get some ice in there. A professional bartender wouldn't be using his hands like that, but you know.
As I explained earlier in the show, this is not something we do professionally, so bear with us.
Coconut rum. Malibu.
Arg.
2 ounces of that. Splat.
Excellent.
2 ounces of orange juice. Now, I like fresh squeeze personally in cocktails, but you know, we do what we must. That's a little bit too much. That's okay. Now, about an ounce of cream of coconut.
Cream of coconut.
Cream of coconut.
Excellent.
By our friends at Goya.
Goya.
A little bit of pineapple juice. I've already poured it into here. We're just going to go with about a half an ounce of pineapple juice. Because a little pineapple, I find, goes an awfully long way.
Excellent.
And finally, just a skosh, as they say in Wisconsin.
A skosh. That is an official measurement in Wisconsin.
Yeah, but we're going to call that a little less than a half ounce. That's good. We mostly want the grenadine for color.
Excellent. The official shake.
We shake, and while we shake, we put some ice in here.
Oh, that is a wonderful presidential looking cocktail. They could be drinking that anywhere tonight.
Yes, and we will garnish it with a piece of orange.
There you have
Look at
it.
that.
It has coconut. It has orange. It is the
Trumpamala.
Trumpamala, ladies and gentlemen.
Trumpamala.
Taste that, John. Let me know what it feels like. What it
Cheers.
tastes like. If you're watching presidential election returns tonight, you'd like to make this, follow along. Hopefully you did.
It's delicious. I'm getting the citrus. I'm getting the coconut. I'm getting the rum. It's a well-balanced drink. I can imagine being on a beach with this too.
You know what? After this election, somebody's going to want to be on a beach somewhere.
Yes.
All right.
Indeed.
Well, John, thank you very much for the Trumpamala
You're welcome.
presidential drink tonight. John will be joining us for some more serious stuff a little bit later. We're going to talk presidential trivia. He's going to ask Mariah and I a few questions. I will trounce her in that particular presidential trivia stuff. But until then, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, Mariah, Katie Ellington Sorrow, and 2 civics teachers from Mansfield Senior High School will be talking with you back in the main room. Thank you for being with us, and stay with us on Democracy After Dark.
Democracy After Dark.
Here, here.
Cheers.